I passed my driving exam 2 weeks ago and y'all acted like मैंने सबसे बड़ा दुनिया में चीज़ achieve कर लिया है और इसके बाद there's no achievement left. I posted this reel and it kind of blew up in my opinion. That's my first reel that's blown up so far, so that was good. There was a lot of love that was shown. There's a lot of hate comments. I love getting hate comments because bad PR is always good PR. But also, a lot of you congratulated, which I really appreciate it. Like, thank you to everyone that's gone on that video, liked it, commented on it, shared it. Thank you so much. But other than that, the main purpose I'm recording this video is because a lot of you asked me how I passed my driving test on the first go. I'm gonna break it down to you super simple. When I started my driving lessons, again, I started from the scratch. I didn't have any driving lessons. I started from the bottom here. And I'll tell you how you can do it too, because I'm telling you, it's so simple. People just complicate it because, I don't know, they have nothing else to do. When I first started doing this, a lot of the things that people said to me were, "Tu fail ho jayegi. Tu kyun kar rahi hai? Taxi le lena. You're gonna fail. Why do you want to do this?" A lot of negative comments. Kid you not. They were like, "Idhar to bas fail hi kar hai. It's so hard. You can't do it." So much bullshit.
You gotta leave me alone.
I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna pass and you're gonna pass in the first go. It's that easy. I'm gonna say that it is hard, 100%. It takes a lot out of your time and your day, but if you put in the effort, you're gonna get resulted like I did. How does it work? You first go take your package. I got it from Excellence Driving School and I got their lump sum package, which means anytime I fail, I can go back to the classes again and then go back to the test. I don't have to pay extra and extra every time I take an exam. So that's how I decided to do it. And you go, you sign up, you give your Emirates ID, whatever it is. The first, I think, 2 classes you do in their institute just to like get used to the car, how does it work. You just do it inside the institute. They have a little driving track area.
Move out the way.
Once you've done that, you'll go onto the road. So for example, wherever I lived, I had a little kiosk of Excellence Driving and I told them this is where I live. I obviously need an instructor there and they had it. So I booked in my classes. I did all my classes, all my hours on the road. And then after that, you go back to the driving center. Most of the driving centers are at Al Quoz. So you go back to the driving center and there they take an internal exam of you driving. That internal exam is for them to test how good you are or how comfortable you are with the steering and driving the car. That one, because it was an internal one, it took me 2 tries. So I first did it and they said that I could use a little bit more classes and then I can do it again. But also speaking, it was my first time ever doing a test there. I was a bit nervous. There were people in the back seat. It was a bit nerve-wracking. You go back. If you failed, you go back. You did a little bit, 1 or 2 more classes and then you go back and I did the exam again and I passed it. Then you move to parking. So basically how parking works is internally they have little parking spots that you basically have to go around and you have to do the parking. I think there is 5 types of parking that they basically ask you to do, which also includes the emergency stop and like braking on the hill and how do you get back out after it. So you do your classes in the driving center itself because they have these areas where they practice you on how to park. So you do that, you give an internal test first. Once you pass the internal test, you go on to the RTA test. So in the internal test, I did the internal test and I went and did the RTA test. Now in the RTA test, I passed everything in one go except my reverse parking. I made a slightest mistake of being like, I couldn't 1 inch on the line and they were like, no. Because that exam is obviously monitored by cameras. So when you're in the car, you're alone. There's nobody in the car. It's just monitored by the camera and then you have to just go and do every single test by yourself. And obviously there is on the screen, it shows what test you're supposed to do next. And obviously there's people always there telling you like, this is first, second, third, fourth, blah, blah, whatever. And if you have questions, you can always ask them. So I right away was like, I want to do my reverse parking again. I did it. I passed because I knew my mistake right away. Did it again at the spot, done. So I passed that in the first time I went there. Then I did my classes again. So after that, you have to do your highway. You have to do a couple more classes. Then you have to do your highway training and your independent training. So that one basically tests you on how to go outside with the speed limit of 80, 100, whatever it is, right? I did that. That comes my RTA final testing. I was so scared. I was like, I'm gonna fail. This woman's gonna fail me. I didn't do it right. I took 1 minute to park. She's gonna fail me. Whatever. This was literally how I was after I drove. So how it works is basically when you're in the car, you have your instructor. I had a female instructor. You have an examiner. I had a female examiner. There was me, and there was this other lady in the car. So now there's two people, me and this other lady, and we kind of switch when the examiner tells us to switch. Kid you not, when I was in that waiting room waiting for my turn, every single female that walked in there said they had failed their exam.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
One was on their fourth try, the other one was on their second, there was one more on her second. I was freaking out because I'm like, if all of them are failing, like it's my first time, I'm definitely gonna fail. And I was so scared. Kid you not, so scared that I'm gonna fail this exam. But I didn't. They called my name. I was like, cool, it's my turn. I'm gonna go. I was in the car and the examiner says, I drive second. The other girl who was with me drives first. And I was so scared. What it means when you drive second is that when you come back to the driving center, you are gonna park. That's what it means when you drive the last. And I was so scared because I was like, I haven't parked in the longest time, and to do reverse garage parking, like forget it, I'm gonna fail. We got into the car, the first lady drives, and it's my turn. I go in and I start driving, and all I'm telling myself is, Dia, be confident, you got it. It's so easy. You're driving in all coups. One of the hardest roads to drive in because you're driving with trucks like everywhere. What it gives in India when you're on the highway and then you hear like
A few moments later.
on the road. That's what it was giving that, but with 1,000 trucks. And I was like, how am I gonna drive here? But once I started driving, all I told myself is check the mirrors and be confident. These are the two things I put in my head before even getting into that seat and I started driving. And I kid you not, once I did that, I was very nervous. So when I was holding the steering, I was a bit like front and I was like, how am I going to do this? But then when I kept telling myself slowly, I could see myself like going back onto the seat and just like relaxing a bit. And that's what you need. That's what they're looking for. Are you confident enough to drive on the road? So after you drive, they make you drive on the 40, then 80 speed limit. And sometimes they tell you to take a U-turn, which is a U-turn from the right. So that's what they check if you're watching. But again, your instructor will tell you all. These are the things that wherever you do the test, you will know because your instructor will always guide you. However, you always don't practice in your test area. Know that because I practice where I live and my test was completely in Alcuz. So two different roads, two complete different atmospheres. So just make sure you're comfortable and you tell your instructor, can you take me here at least 2 or 3 times in the whole training for you to get comfortable. I did the whole test and there was a lot of maneuvers I had to get through. There were people walking on the road that I had to like stop and I had to stop, honk at them. I had to, when I'm driving, there's a 2-way lane and sometimes there's trucks coming your way in the wrong lane. You have to give the indicator and go to the other lane, then switch again. These are the little things that you will go through. Or like when you're driving, there's suddenly a truck trying to reverse. Like these are the things that you have to pay attention to, and that's what they're trying to see and trying to look for. Again, it's not scary. You can pass it in one go. Just the biggest thing is be confident. And then obviously I got into the driving school. I reverse park, and I kid you not, I took a good 1 minute to do that parking. I'm not even gonna lie. I took good 1 minute because again, I haven't practiced this in a while, and this was like, we have a very small space. How am I gonna go park? Reverse, and that even in a perfect way that I passed this. And I remember so clearly. I parked it. I put the parking gear on. I put the handbrake, and my examiner opened the door to see if there was space for the people to move or get out or whatever. And there was, and I was like, that literally, I was like, it was a relief because I'm like, at least one thing I've done right, out of everything that I was saying that I've done wrong. And after that, I looked at the examiner and she was like, Dia, make sure you watch the center mirror a little bit more. Other than that, you've passed. Kid you not, I took my phone, I took out the seatbelt and I ran for my life. Because I said, no one's changing their mind about me not getting a license. So I literally ran. But anyways, I'm going to tell you a couple of ways or a couple of tricks or a couple of points to look for when you're doing this test.
Fire!
Your mirrors, most importantly, even if there's no cars on the side, make sure you move your neck. Every few seconds, just keep moving it. Look at the center mirror all the time. Up, down, up. Your neck is, my light died. But the neck is a movement they need to see. If they see that movement, they know that you're checking. Even though I know your eyes, if you look with your eyes, you can tell that a car is passing by or not, but make sure you do the movement. The second thing is your blind spot. Make sure to turn your head. Like, even if that's you breaking your neck, I don't care. Turn that neck so they can see that you're looking at your blind spot. Other than that, I would say be confident 100%. These are the two main things. In terms of the mirrors, make sure you're moving your neck and your blind spot. Both sides, this way and this way. Make sure you turn your whole body, that you're checking the blind spot. Obviously, do it fast so you can change lane after, but also changing lanes is one of the biggest things. Once they tell you right or left, just do it. Don't stop. Just do it. The more you can see that you're hesitating while driving. So if they say, please change lane to right, quickly up, there, here, and change. That's it. Very simple, very quick. That's what you need to be quick with it, because when you're driving outside, you're not going to get the time to look all the way back. You're going to be super quick about it, but make sure you do the action of looking back. Another thing I would say is also the speed limit. So they make you drive in 40, then they, after that, 60, and then it goes on, depending on your examiner, like how far they may take you. It's not gonna be like 140 speed. The tests are very quick. For me, it was 40, 80, 40, and 60. But obviously for 60, I can drive 80 because in Dubai, you can drive 20 above, right? So on the 40 speed limit, you have to drive 40, and then I had to take a right where I'm entering the main road, and from that main road, I had to drive 60. But I drove like 75. So they know that I can control the car. I know that I can switch fast. So as soon as you take that turn and you get into it, make sure to switch within the first 30 seconds or a little bit more, but make sure it's a gradual pace, not just like you press on the gas and it's flying. Make sure it's gradual, but it's fast. That's the only thing. Like, it needs to be fast. Another thing I would say would be confident. I think that's your first thing. Definitely be very confident with your driving. Like, make them think that I passed my DJI just heated up. You know, you live in Dubai when your little camera is heating up as well. What I was basically saying is be confident, check your mirrors, check your blind spots, change lanes super fast, don't hesitate, speed limit, make sure you transition fast, but also smoothly, not just like you're pressing the gas and you're flying out. And I would say, yeah, these are the like 4 important things that you should obviously like take care of. And these are the things that will definitely come into handy or use. And also I would recommend, my instructor did this just the day before my RTA final test. He actually made me practice parking for like the last 5 minutes. So make sure you ask your instructor if they don't do it already to help you practice like reverse garage parking or whatever it is for just 5 minutes at the end, just so you refresh your memory, and when they tell you to do it, then you know what you're doing. Other than that, it's pretty easy, honestly. I think it's all about confidence and handling the steering in the car the right way. Like, you're not flying off, or you're just not like playing around with it. Oh, also one of the things I almost forgot to mention is speed bumps. And make sure you're actually like slowing down and you get over the speed bump and then you go faster. And also make sure if your test is in all coups, I swear to God, make sure to literally check all the signs, the stop sign, whatever it is, the dotted lines, whatever it is. Make sure you actually see them and follow the rules, because I know people because in Al Quds, a lot of the lines are faded away. So when you take a right and the stop sign is faded away, you're not going to see it, and you want to just go because the road is empty. Even if the road is empty, whatever turn you're taking, and there's like a solid line, stop, 3 seconds, turn your head, and go. This is my biggest piece of advice. I know a lot of people who failed because of this reason. I didn't, because that's something I kept in mind, because my instructor kept telling me to not miss these things, because when I was practicing with him, I would miss these things because the lines are faded. You cannot tell, but it's basically common sense, and you can know when the line is there. And when there's a junction and you're going into wherever direction, make sure you check if there's a stop sign, and if there is, stop for 3 seconds. 3 seconds is your key, literally. If you stop for less, they're gonna fail you. So 3 seconds, look both ways and go. Other than that, honestly, the biggest thing is just be confident, just believe in yourself, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it, because I did it literally the first time and I thought I was gonna fail. So just be confident about it, and I'm sure you will be able to pass 110%. So yeah, if you have any questions, obviously let me know. And if there's anything or any other tips you want or anything else, just write down in the comments below. And yeah, I will see you next time.